Hi, this is Vernell with Christ Presence Restored. Yep, video number 2. Okay, where shall I begin? I sold my house in McDonough and I moved to the country. And in the country, you see me going like this. It has lots of gnats in the summertime. The only time it does not have them in abundance is in the winter. But I love where I am right now. Let me see. Where I am right now, I got hurt on the job in May of last year. And I hurt my neck, bulging disc, something with the back, and I have a torn rotator cuff. So I have been in the process of doing rehab for that. And then, of course, you get your disability short term and then eventually long term if you stay out that long. Well, I've stayed out longer than I thought I was going to be out. But I had paid for short term that would cover, that instance of before long term picked up. That's my dog Murphy. He was, yeah, right there. That's Murphy in the back because, it was so overwhelmingly quiet here and just needing to take care of something other than me. So that's how Murphy came to be. So he inspires me to get up when I don't want to get up and to move when I don't want to move. Because this is a big change. I was a people person. I enjoyed being at work, and now I found myself not at work. So in that process of expecting that I would receive pay, the company decided that no, I wasn't eligible to receive my short-term and workman's comp at the same time. And then in that 6-month period, they decided to stop paying me. And I found out through an email. They did not bother to call me. They just decided they're not going to do it anymore. So, deep breath, breathe in, breathe out, but that was not the case then. I was in tears. I cried every time I thought about it. I'm like, what am I going to do? I have all these responsibilities that I have to take care of. And it wasn't a lot of money, but at least it was some money. And what am I going to do? So, of course, I called a few of my prayer warriors, and I always call my sister because she's in place of my mom. And I'm like, help me. Pray me through this, even in the midst of tears. I'm saying, help me. I don't know what to do. So, figuring out what to start doing from one step, getting lean, getting rid of those things that I didn't need, that I just wanted. So I started doing that, and then I just changed over phone service and incurred a big bill because I was now trying to expand my ministry. And I was feeling really good about getting all of those things done. And that was just the day before. So as I say that, we make plans, as the Bible tells us. We make plans for tomorrow, but we never know exactly what tomorrow is going to bring. And in the midst of that, from one day to the next, in less than 24 hours, everything had changed so quickly. And you think you're prepared for it, but I didn't feel prepared for it. I had forgotten. It's like I need to have that crown on that I spoke about on that first video. I had forgotten that everything would be taken care of. I just needed to stop and breathe and fly the nets away. So, country living, I'm not giving it up, country living. So, as I'm trying to be lean and trying to be brave and figure out, okay, I'm going to cut this off, I'm going to cut that off. And each time I made a phone call, every single time I made a phone call to a company to tell them that I no longer could do their service, the other end of that phone call was a believer. And that believer told me over and over again in each instant that it was going to be okay. Let me see what I can do for you. And to be honest, by the time I got through trying to disconnect things, God had turned it around to where I got a better payment. With the internet is so bad where I currently was. Even that, it turned around and they cut the bill and they up the internet, and it worked out for me. It turned out good. And the same with a couple of other things. It turned out good. I thought I was cutting things off and changing them, but instead it was happening in my favor. It was being turned around in my favor. Y'all, this is like crazy. I'm outside all the time, and to have in the one video it was a white truck and now the blue truck driving by, I was like, okay. But anyway, I digress, as they say. So in the last one, dealing at the phone company, I was so upset with the cell phone that the guy started talking about God and that, you know, he would take care of it. I just busted in tears and I had to walk out of the building, and I was a mess, you know. And sometimes I think I'm just a big drama queen, but I'm not a drama queen. I was really concerned. I was really not sure what was going to happen next. And, you know, I didn't think about, you know, 401k. I didn't think of all those things that were possibly available to me that, you know, I could use. I used them in the past. But none of those things, I didn't think about those. All I thought was this form of income was now gone. What am I going to do? And as the days went by, and I got a lawyer and, you know, spoke to her and sent her the information. And this was on a Friday. And the whole weekend, I'm like praying and, you know, not as frantic as I was, but still really, really concerned. So in that process of, like, I've done all that I can do, so now I just have to wait on God. Now I just have to trust that He's going to do, once again, what He said He would always do. He would always take care of me, you know, and sometimes not as quickly as I thought that I needed it, but in that time frame, so my faith would increase. So I would stop relying on my head, on my wisdom, but to still be smart and try and do what I needed to do, but to trust Him that it was being done. So to go ahead and make this a little shorter, finally, the lawyer calls me, I think on that Monday, and she basically says two little things. She says, do you live in Missouri? Do you have a case in Missouri? And I'm like, no, I don't. And then she says, well, based on where you live in Georgia, they can't just stop paying you. And I'm like, really? And she says, yeah. So I breathe in, I breathe out, and once again, God has done a great thing. And, you know, not such a great thing, but it depends on how you react. And in my reaction, you know, we say it all the time, I'm only human, but he tells us not to be anxious. Let not your heart be troubled. And in that midst of that time when I was trying to let trouble just overtake me, as these gnats are trying to overtake me. So we might not be doing too many more videos outside, guys. But as, you know, these things tried to overtake me, to make me unsteady, to make me unsure of how God is always there. And even if the income never came, if I would have just been still and stopped, I still had income. I didn't want to touch it, but I still had a source. I still had a source. And as I say that I still had a source, Jesus was my real source. He was my foundation. He was what I had to put all of my trust in. And as I say that, we have to make sure that we don't get so emotional, so caught up with these feelings that we have that can send us, on the wrong path, that can send us to a place to where we stop trusting in Jesus Christ. And I stopped trusting him. Yeah, for a while. I stopped trusting. Maybe 2 days, a day and a half. But no, not really, not that long. As I said, every phone call in that day, every personal place that I went in that day, and they saw that I was in distress in a way, they poured into me. So in saying that, it's so important that we stay connected as believers in Jesus Christ, because these times will come. These situations will happen. This world will try and crush us and make us become perplexed and think that as trouble is coming in on every side, that we won't be able to endure. But hey, we do. And that's what God wants us to do, to endure till the end. Okay, I'm over again. I wanted these to be short and sweet. So here you go. Thank you once again. Please remember, if you have not subscribed, to subscribe. Please share and like. But most of all, keep God present in your life, and don't let emotions send you all over the place so you become double-minded, because a double-minded man is unstable in all of their ways. May you be blessed and continue to trust Jesus Christ. Thanks.